Okay, hey guys, we are back walking through the alphabet. Hi, my name is Jeff. I am a Christian evangelist and I post content on YouTube twice a week to help bring people to understand God, a relationship with Jesus, and equip them to walk through the Christian life. So part of what I do is walking through the alphabet, scripture, through the alphabet, and we are now, halfway through. We're up to the letter M, and I've been holding it in abeyance to tell you what the letter M is, and I'll tell you now, it is murder. We're going to talk about murder. Jesus talked about murder. So anyway, hey, this comes from the Sermon on the Mount. Now, the Sermon on the Mount is Jesus's basically inaugural address. It was at the beginning of his ministry. He was drawing crowds to him. He noticed that there were a lot of people coming to follow, to hear his teaching, so he went up on the mount to begin teaching them. Now, the first part of the Sermon on the Mount, I'm going to do an extended video on the Sermon on the Mount and the Beatitudes. It's just such a fascinating part of teaching. But the first few verses 1 through 12 in Matthew 5, are the Beatitudes. Now, these are the characteristics of someone who comes to know Jesus. And then Jesus moves on to verses 17 through 48 in chapter 5, where he talks about the law. And he brings a different perspective on the law to the people who were listening. It's characterized by the phrases, "You have heard it said," various things, whatever he's talking about, "but I say," and now he adds what the depth of learning is. So it starts out, "You have heard it said," and he's talking about the law, "but I say." Now, the law is how we know what our sin is, what our imperfections are, and we can't be saved by keeping the law, but we know what sin is by the law. Listen to Ephesians 2, 8-9. "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not by works, lest anyone should boast." So we are not saved by keeping the law, by our works, by being good, by doing good things. Those things don't save us. We can't. We've already been imperfected in our lives. We are saved by the grace of God because God chose to save us because he loves us and he wants to save us. It's a gift. So knowing what sin is comes from the law. So again, we are not saved by keeping the law, but we know what sin is by the law. Now the law is the 10 Commandments, basically, is the 10 Commandments. There were other laws that the Jewish people added to this, but the initial ones were the 10 Commandments. And it is how we know what sin is. Listen to Romans 7, verse 7, I would not have known sin except through the law. For I would not have known covetousness unless the law said, "You shall not covet." So we know what sin is by the law, but Jesus took it to a deeper level. He took it from the physical level of things to the heart level and the emotional level of things. And murder is one of the things he'll deal with. He deals with adultery, and this is in chapter 5, 17-48 in Matthew. He deals with divorce, adultery, taking oaths. And what he says about murder is this, really interesting, and for me, it really hit me when I came to surrender my life to Jesus. I did this stuff all the time, and it was just really conviction for me. Here's what he says about murder. "You have heard that it was said to those of old, 'You shall not murder, and whoever murders will be in danger of the judgment.' But I tell you that anyone who is angry with a brother or sister will be subject to judgment. Again, anyone who says to a brother or sister, 'Raka,' is answerable to the court. And anyone who says, 'You fool,' will be in danger of the fire of hell." So this word raka means kind of airhead, like an airhead. And then also he says, "You fool," Man, can't tell you how many times I did that in my in my previous life before I came to surrender to Jesus. Calling people idiots, what an idiot, what a jerk he is. And man, I hear people saying it all the time, and it just really hurts me because it was something that convicted me, and I try my best. Those feelings still come up. I want to say those things, but I really guard myself now. So Jesus is saying, it's not just murder and physically killing somebody that's murder. It's just being angry with somebody and calling somebody an idiot. He took things to the emotional level, and when you think across the plethora of things that cause us to sin, think of those things in terms of the emotional level, and it really expands and gives you a different perspective on what sin is and how we should be acting towards other people. Let me give you a few things. Well, first of all, let me say that anger is an emotional reality. It is something that we do, and it's not necessarily bad. You can't not be angry, but when anger causes us to sin, that's when the problems start. Our pride, or we start hurting somebody, that's when our anger can become a problem. Listen what the Apostle Paul says in Ephesians 4. Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath, nor give place to the devil. That's Ephesians 4:26 to 27. Now let me give you 4 things to kind of help manage anger when it comes up, so we don't sin in anger and murder emotionally. First of all, patience. Patience is a fruit of the Spirit. And let me share one scripture with you. You've probably heard numerous times. A lot of times at weddings they like to use this verse. In fact, I don't really like to use it because it's used so much. But it kind of seems appropriate here. It's 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4. Love is patient. There you go. Love is patient. Love is kind. Does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. That's 1 Corinthians 13. So patience is the first thing we can do. Secondly, to help is consider the interests of others. Philippians 2, 3 to 4. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others. So first of all, this idea of humility. Man, humility is such a powerful thing. It's hard for us to do, but you find satisfaction and peace and joy when we humble ourselves before God and before other people. And then the interests of others. People will do things or they'll say things to us that hurt our feelings or seem kind of mean. But you often don't know what's going on in other people's lives. They may have maybe lost a family member, or they have a child that's sick at home, or maybe a parent is ailing, or they're dealing and stress is mounting up on them. They have a parent that they're trying to find housing for and medical assistance. You just don't know what's going on in other people's lives. So be careful. I'm looking for a word here. Be sensitive to what other people are going through and what they might be going through in their lives. Number 3 is forgive. Let's be willing to forgive people just like Jesus forgave us. In the Lord's Prayer, Jesus in Matthew 6, of course, says, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. So as God has forgiven us, let's be willing and quick to forgive others. And lastly, number 4 is reconcile quickly. Don't let things build up. This was what I did for years, and man, it just built up and built up. Now I've come to a clean slate, and when things now happen, I don't let them fester. I don't let them build. I handle them right away. Talk with the other person. Sometimes it's uncomfortable and difficult, but when you do it in love and you do it with humility, it is much better than letting things build up. Matthew 5:23-24 is the key verse that I kind of look to in this regard. Therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go your way. First be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift. See, God does not want our gifts. He doesn't need our money, our gifts, or our tithes and stuff like that. We want to give those things, but He doesn't want us to give those things if there's something in our heart that's against someone. So first, keep a clean slate. Go and be reconciled with those people that you're maybe having an issue with, and before you give your gift. So hey, so that's it. Murder is being angry at people. So be careful about that. That's what God considers sin, just being angry at people. Give that some thought throughout the rest of your day and your life, that God took it from the physical level to the emotional level. So hey, let me know what you think. I hope you will visit my website. If this is a blessing to you, share it with others. I'd love to have you subscribe for my videos. And walking through the alphabet, we are going to be on the letter N, and it is around the word narrow. It is a narrow path that we follow to come to Jesus. So hey, with that, God bless you. Have a great week. Let me know what you're thinking. I'd be happy to hear from you, and we will see you again next time.